Okay. Good morning, friends. Today we start the lecture of production technology. The topic of today's lecture is jigs and fixtures. So first we start with the basic terminology of the jig and fixture. Now, what is the definitions of jig and what is the definitions of the fixtures? So we start from the basic understandings of the jigs and fixtures. So first of all, we start the introductions about the jig and fixtures, and as the introductions, the jigs and fixtures are both are the one kind of the holding device, right? And they are used for, one is used for holding the tools and one is used for the holding the workpiece during the manufacturing operations, right? So the primary objective of the jigs and fixtures are, the first very basic objective is to position a component relative to the machines and tool, right? So, and the second objective is to hold and support the components. So whenever we are using the kind of machining operations at the conventional types of the machining process, like the milling machine process, like the lathe machine operations, drilling machines operations, boring machines operations. So some of the time, due to the intricate shapes of the your product, which is very difficult to hold in a one positions during the manufacturing operations, right? So to overcome these difficulties, we are inventing kind of the fixtures and the kind of the jigs for helping the machines and the workpiece. The second primary objective of jig and fixture, which is to guide the tool, and the last objective is to accommodate several components in one seating to facilitate their assembly, right? So after understanding the basic objective of the jig and fixtures, we have to study in a very detailed manner with what is the basic difference between the jigs and fixtures. So we start with the basic kind of the jigs. So what is jigs? So the jigs are normally used to guide the tool. So jigs are used to guide the tool. Then they are also used to hold the tool, and at the last, generally the jigs are lighter in a weight as compared to the fixtures. So basically the jigs have the two kind of the helping facilities for the tool, for guiding the tool and for the holding the tool. Now next we are discussing the fixtures. So the fixture have a one kind of the helping facility for the workpiece is to hold the workpiece during the any kind of the manufacturing operations, right? So they are not used for guiding the tool. So this is the kind of the limitations of the fixtures. And one of the another kind of the drawback of the fixture is that they are heavier in the constructions, so which is very difficult to handle during the operation, which is kind of the drawback of the fixtures. And the one of the advantages that the fixtures are sometimes used as a facilitate during the assembly of the components. So these are the basic difference between the jigs and fixtures, right? So we move with the another topic. We move with the another topic of today's lecture is that what is the basic advantages and disadvantages of the jigs and fixtures, right? So we start off the advantages is that So the basic advantages of that, with using the jigs and fixtures, we are eliminating the laborious work like the marking of the marking on the your product, because the basic objective which is previously discussed in the previous topic is that, based on that, so the jigs are always used to guide the tool, so which is little bit helpful during the marking operations. So they are fortunately guiding the tool at the exact locations point, right? So the next advantage of the jigs and fixture is they are increasing the machining accuracy. Next, it is very easy for the complex machinings, because the fixtures are used for holding the intricate shapes of the product, and with using the fixtures we can set on the table at the exact position, so the machining process which is become as a easier during the help of the kind of the fixtures positions, right? So the next, which is the, they are increasing the productivity, they are reducing the holding times, they are reducing the handling times. So with using the jigs and fixtures, we are reducing the kind of the handling time from the removing the current objective from the workplace from the, or setting up the next object on the work tables, right? Then the next advantage, which is decreasing the expenditures on the quality control, because we are in a very great manner we are increasing the quality of the product, and we are increasing the machining accuracy with using the jigs and fixtures. Then the scrap which is decreased with using the kind of jigs and fixtures, because they are help during the machining process and improve the safety features of the work. So these are the basic advantages and disadvantages of the jigs and fixtures, right? So the kind of limitations or the disadvantages in a very broad manner is that the costing behind the fixtures and jigs are very high in some of the specific complex shapes product, because हम एक इजी तरीके से इसको समझे तो क्या होगा कि जैसे सपोज हमारे पास कोई ऐसा ऑर्डर है कि हमें लिमिटेड क्वांटिटी के अंदर एक इंटीग्रेट शेप को मशीनिंग करना है, तो हम उस हिसाब के साथ उस फिक्सचर को डिज़ाइन करेंगे, राइट? फिर जैसे ही मशीनिंग आपका कंप्लीट हो गया, आपका प्रोडक्ट वो बैच कंप्लीट हो गया, उस बैच के बाद आप वो फिक्सचर को सेम काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्ट के साथ यूज़ नहीं कर सकते. So these are the basic drawback of the fixtures designing. So but we can use that fixtures with using the kind of the modifications for the next product. So the limitation in the manner is that the kind of the rework which is required after completing the one batch of the productions, right? Now we move forwards for the main elements of the jigs and fixtures. So these are the main elements. First one is the body, second one is the locating system, then clamping system, then guiding and setting elements, positioning elements, and indexing elements. So these are the basic elements of the jigs and fixtures. Basically for jigs and fixture we are the two element which is very helpful which is the locating system and the clamping system. So we move forward to the next topic of our discussions. Today's discussion is the equilibrium theory of the workpiece. As you can see in the figure that here is a kind of the workpiece, and the workpiece which is located with these stationary locators, right? And we are applying the kind of the holding forces. So with using the clamping and locating device, we can restrict the linear movement of the workpiece. We can restrict the linear movement of the workpiece with using the clamping and locating device. Next, we have the second example, which is here we can restrict the rotational movement of your workpiece. So with applying the holding force, there is a possibilities of the kind of the rotations of our workpiece. So with using the stationary locators, we can restrict the rotational movement of our workpiece. So these are the equilibrium theory of the workpiece control, because whenever we are doing the kind of operations, there is a kind of the little bit chances is that due to the improper clampings and holding during the operations, there is a chances of the slighter linear motions and the due to the vibration slighter rotational movement of your workpiece. So to overcome these difficulties, we are using the clamping devices, different kind of the clamping devices. So in today's lecture, we are discussing the basic introductions of the jigs and fixtures. Then we are discussing the primary objectives. Then we are discussing the advantages and limitations of the objectives, basic elements of the objectives, and equilibrium theory of the workpiece control, right? So in next topic, we are going for the locating principle, 3-gem 2 locating principle. So I am giving you a slighter intro of that locating principle. Is that so for any kind of the object, we have the three kind of the motions: x direction motions, y directions motions, and z directions motions, right? And with using the proper clamping or locating device, we have to restrict their 3 rotational and 3 translational motions during the operations. So with using the 6 locating pin, with using the 6 locating or clamping pin, we can restrict the 6-degree freedom of that workpiece. So in the next lecture, we are discussing the 3-gem 2-gem 1 locating principle in a very detailed manner. So if you have any kind of the questions and queries, you can ask me in the comment sections, and as soon as possible I able to give the answer of your queries and questions. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.